Moment of truth, I just ordered a brown sugar shaken espresso, and they had peppermint cold foam, peppermint chocolate, peppermint, I don't know, stuff like that. It's like, oh, do you want to try this peppermint chocolate cold foam? Because I like the chocolate cold foam on my brown sugar shaken oat milk espresso drink. And I'm headed over to hang out with my daughter, and I thought, caffeine, I need you. So let's give it a whirl. Never had it with any other cold foam on top. Kind of shake it up a little bit. Oh. Oh. I kind of like it. Welcome back to the Rachel Show. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I tried the other method with the heatless curling like thing, and I did it like a rainbow across my head, and I feel like the results turned out so much better. Ooh, I'm liking these. I don't know how they look, so I'm gonna have to rewatch this back because I don't have a mirror, like a full-length mirror. The only mirror I have in this apartment is in my bathroom. These fit, like comfortability wise, I feel like they fit right, and they are the perfect length. They hit right at the top of the foot, so there won't be any dragging on the ground. Let's try them on with shoes. Grabbed my fake Uggs, my Fugs as I like to call them. I feel like they look really good. Let's try them on again with a sneaker. For the sake of the video, I just grabbed my little Nike Air Maxes. I don't know. I still feel like this looks good. I feel like, dang, I'm gonna have to get these in a different wash just so that way I can have a few pairs of jeans because they're comfortable. These are also a 6 petite, and these were kind of hard to zip and snap, and I'm like, they're the same size as the last jeans I just tried on. Also, these are a tad like longer. If I take off the sneaker, I feel like they work with the sneaker barely. Like they could even go up like a ½ inch at the bottom. Also, I don't know if bell bottoms are for me. I'm gonna have to watch this footage back, decide if I'm gonna keep these or not. If I do, should I get them hemmed? I hate having to do that. It's another thing. I just like to buy my clothes ready to wear. Good morning! I forgot to pick up a couple last minute things when I was at Trader Joe's grocery shopping for the week. So we are headed in to Sprouts because I want to get some cod liver oil. It's a good vitamin D supplement, and since I'm going to be sitting indoors all day, I want to make sure that I am getting my allotted daily amount of vitamin D. Also going to pick up some chicken broth, and maybe some water. Decided to just go ahead and get one of these to hold me over for a few more extra days, including the water that I already have at home. But we are set. If I'm coming to Sprouts, I'm getting some of this because last time I had it, crack. Literally. Oh my goodness! Good morning! I just finished doing my car reset, and I brought this stuff home to chill. I had to come and get my own vacuum cleaner because the vacuum cleaner at the car wash on either side of the car not working. So it's okay. I got my own vacuum cleaner, and I just cleaned it out yesterday and changed the filter and everything. So it's like perfect. We can use it. It won't be gross and grimy for the video. But now we're home and we're gonna try our orange flavored cod liver oil. You know what? I'm gonna need a chaser with this. Back to my chaser drinking days. I'm gonna use one of my little green juices that I made last week, and I think 1 tablespoon is the serving size. It actually says 1 teaspoon is the serving size, so I don't even think we need to fill this whole joker up, but I feel like that's probably more than enough. I think when I used to take these, I used to actually measure with the teaspoon, but the ones I have are like, they're very like a circle. It's kind of hard to get everything out of there without licking it, and I just pray for me. I just know I feel like this is going to be so gross, and I don't even have a chaser ready. The lid is on tight. It's not as bad as I thought. Kind of has the texture of like swallowing olive oil, which is gross. I don't feel like it tastes like anything. It just tastes like oil. But I'm excited to see if like there's anything with this and the vitamin C will help my receding gums. Like, I don't understand what happened. so proud of myself. Got myself in the kitchen and I got some white bean chicken chili cooking up for the week, and I cannot wait. It's all simmering for the next 20 minutes and then I think it's done. I usually cook this in a crock pot, but I apparently got rid of my crock pot at some time. So yeah. I think this little girl is begging me to go outside. Do you want to go outside? Can you wait for my chicken chili to cook for a couple minutes? We need 20 minutes and then I can go outside for hours. I would take her out right now while I'm waiting, but she literally will want to go outside for like an hour or two. And I'm like, okay, can't leave this cooking. And I hate cutting her walks short. So she can wait a good 20 minutes. I think this will be done and be ready to go like into the fridge for the week, and then I can take her out. Ever since Scout noticed that there's like a little hole in the fence behind this pole right here to the next apartment complex behind us, which I found out by someone getting off a high school bus and taking this way back to their apartment where they live with their parents, I guess. I was like, what? There's a hole back there? So I took it the other day with Scout. And ever since then, she comes over here and she's like, how do I get over there? Fine, you gotta go through this little hole right here. Oh, see? You can't go that way. Look, you gotta go right here. There you go. Oh my goodness. The squirrels are crazy. Look at that. Scout and I have been out on our morning walk. We got up at 5 a.m. I figured 5 a.m. is probably the time I need to start getting up for work. That starts next week. It's my last week of freedom. Today I have an appointment for my food stamps, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to cancel it because I know that I'm going to be making too much for food stamps for one person. The only thing is I won't be getting paid until sometime into December. I get paid like every 2 weeks like normal. So I'm hoping that they'll let me keep them for a little bit, like for December, and then cut me off after that. Oh my goodness! Ah! Anyway, like I was saying, I was so stressed and anxious and worried. It's my last week of freedom. I'm having all these like thoughts like, is this just how life is going to be the rest of my life? I'm going to have to work and stress, and I don't know. I just started being so anxious last night and so worried and so like, woe is me. And I've been feeling, I mean, besides like being a little broke this summer, I've just really loved like not being anxious and stressed. Like any job I've had, I usually am anxious and stressed basically almost every single day. Dressed, ready, did a little something to my hair because I didn't want to wash it last night because I finger just washed it Friday. But also, I need to get some heat protectant spray so that way I can blow it out again. And headed to my little food stamp appointment. Let's see how this goes. If they cut me off, I'm fine. I can afford groceries. I have a little bit of savings still. Well, safe for a little bit longer. I told her I got a job, and she said she gave me a form to fill out, like an employment verification form. I filled that out and send that in when I start, which is next Monday. And then she said I turn in my first pay stub immediately as soon as I get it, and then that's probably when they reassess. So it looks like I'm getting food stamps until I get paid next month. Oh, gotta get gas! But like, we're driving by the ocean. This is just so wild that I'm that close. And it's so gorgeous. I just wish I was a passenger princess so I can see if there's dolphins. All of that ended up being a bust. I got here, I got a little coffee, I got to open my laptop, and apparently the charger must have not been plugged in because my battery on my computer is dying and it's in the red. So, and then I was like, well, okay, I'm already over here. Let's go to Sephora. Well, it's only 10:14 and Sephora doesn't open till 11. Well, I don't really feel like hanging out for 45 minutes doing nothing. I feel like I have so much to do this week that, I've done this to myself. I understand. You know what really burns my britches up is having to deal with a narcissist ex-husband. I'm just so sick of it. We've been divorced for 13, 14, something like that years, and it's still just so annoying. So here's the tea in my life today. I am selling my other vending machine in Wilmington, and it seems like the deal is going through. The person sent over their application to the mall, and all of that's going good. And they are going to buy the vending machine and start ownership as of 12/1. Well, I was like, okay, I don't know about, it's going to be so much cheaper if I just have my younger daughter go out there, and she lives a couple hours away, an hour and a half or something from Wilmington. She can drive out there, and all she has to do is unload the vending machine and FaceTime me, and I was going to walk this guy through the vending machine and show him all the ins and outs, meet him over at the bank to get the money deposited into my account, and hand him the key, and then she can go home. And I was going to compensate her, pay her over and above what she would have made for the day, so that way I can help her out with some holiday money, but she can help me out by doing this. Well, she told me, oh yeah, I'm gonna request that day off, I can totally do this for you. I'm like, okay, great. This is like a load off my shoulders, because when I looked at flying in from Tampa to Wilmington, North Carolina, because it's such a small airport, it's so gosh darn expensive. And it would have just been much easier to fly into Wilmington where the machine is, get an Uber over to the mall. I can't be that far from the airport to the mall, and then Uber back to the airport and fly out that evening. And just make it a very long one day, but a one day thing. Well, I'm talking to her last night about it, and she's like, well, I'm working that day. I'm like, Izzy, I thought you said you were going to take that day off. I know you're helping me, you're doing me a favor, but it's not like you're doing it for free. I'm gonna pay you for your time, give you gas money, make sure you get some money on top of that, so that way, you feel fairly compensated for everything that you're doing. I went to bed. I said, well, you need to let me know tomorrow if you can actually do this, because I need to look at plane tickets and renting a car, because I'm gonna have to fly into Raleigh instead of Wilmington, because it will actually save me money, even though it will be a much longer day and kind of annoying and everything, but whatever, and she's like, okay. So last night, when we hop off FaceTime, maybe 10 minutes later, she lets me know that the girl can take her shift because she ends up working that day. And then she's like, well, I actually need to ask my dad. I'm like, ask her dad? She does live with her dad still. So I'm like, okay, cool. But in my mind, I'm like, she's 19. Does she really need to ask her dad to go down and help her mom with a favor? Mind you, my ex-husband, their dad, is a huge narcissist, control freak. Anytime he has a leg up on me, he's got to, do that. And he always has been this way, and it's made my entire, existence being a mom, horrible. And I feel like I'm finally, to a place, where I'm able to operate the way I want to operate as a mother. But I have once never had a say-so in how my kids were raised. My kids did live with me for the longest time after we got divorced. But after a few years, my kids wanted to go live with their dad because, he made more money. He's always had bigger, better house. I've always lived in rinky-dink little apartments because that's just all I could afford, Even with child support, I was the only one making money for 3 people, so, and a dog. So whatever, they went to go live with their dad. They've always lived with their dad ever since then. Well, you know, it's always just been a power struggle. And I honestly loved the kids wanting to live with him because I thought it would bring me so much more peace in my life. But I mean, it did, but it didn't, because anytime something came up with the kids, like, it was always my problem. I'm the, you know, it's always my fault. Anything goes wrong. Oh, it's all because of your mother, you know, like, just everything. My youngest daughter has like ADHD, and of course that's my fault that I gave it to her. You know, just like any little thing is like my fault, and I can never say anything about how my daughters were raised. I hate the way he treats our kids. Basically, he's trying to kick out my youngest one. She's just now barely about to turn 19, and I'm kind of in this space where, yeah, I'm not rich. I mean, I've been unemployed for almost 5-6 months now, so of course I don't have money, but I would never want to kick out my kids, especially in the economy that we live in. I would just always want my kids to be able to thrive in this economy. And I mean, if they want to throw in a couple bones for like electric or get their own groceries or whatever, like, cool. But I would just much rather them live at home and save up their money and all that stuff, you know? And he's actively, basically, whenever him and my youngest get in a fight, because they do have similar personalities, oh, you gotta go, you only got a few months left. It's just too much. Who wants to live their life in that much, like, stress and uneasiness? You know, you never know if something's one bad thing you're gonna say, and some, you know, he's gonna kick you out that night with all your shit outside. And here I am living in Florida. It's not like I could just go over there and pick her up, because there's definitely been times I've had to go and, you know, address and help smooth over situations after I've gotten off work, drive an hour out there, you know, and then drive an hour back, and then get ready and be ready for work the next day. Well, now he said that she can't go to Wilmington to help me out, so now I've got to go buy a plane ticket to fly in that morning and fly back here that night, because I can't do anything about Scout. I've got to be at work on Monday. I'm just so over it. Like, I knew that as soon as she said last night she was going to have to ask her dad, I just knew he was going to say no, because that's just how he is. He can't be helpful to me at all, even though I've literally bent over backwards to make his life like the easiest. You know, I go and pick up the kids as soon as they went to go live with him. I was the one driving all the way there to go pick them up. Mind you, I lived in North Carolina at a time when he lived in Kentucky. My parents lived in Western North Carolina, so it's like a 5 or 6 hour drive from where I lived. But I would have to go 9 hours to go pick the girls up in Kentucky, and then 5 or 6 hours over to my parents just to hang out for like 4 days, and then go back, drive them 5 or 6 hours to their dad's, and then 8 or 9 hours back to my apartment in Greensboro where I lived. But when they lived with me, it was like, okay, I'll meet you halfway. And we always met halfway to exchange the girls. It's just makes my blood boil that someone just can't treat me the way that I have treated them. You know, I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm just so over it. Anyway, my rant is over for the day. All my issues from yesterday worked themselves out, and that is amazing. I was able to book a flight last night, and I'm actually not meeting the guy that's buying the car, but he owns a local like club or nightclub or something, and he's sending his business manager because he's actually going to be out of town, the owner. So I'm just happy everything's working itself out. It's going to be the longest day. I'm flying out 5:30 Saturday morning. I'm actually just going to stay the night at the airport because, yeah, by the time I need to be at the airport at before 5:30, I'm staying at the airport all night. I'm gonna make it work. So flying out of Tampa at 5:30, I get to Raleigh around 11. I have a rental car that I booked, and I supposedly, it looks like I shuttle over to Hertz. I need to go and double check. I think it's Hertz. and pick up my car. I'm driving 2.5 hours to Wilmington to get a suitcase at like TJ Maxx, clean out the vending machine, give that guy the key, he gave me the money. I need to get all the cash out of the vending machine. The only thing is now we're not going to be able to meet until like, it's going to be about 2 or 3 before I can get over there. By the time, you know, I get off my flight, get on the shuttle, you know, the flight never takes off at 5:30. It's always a little bit later before you taxi off. So there's going to be a little bit of delays, and then I need to be back before 8:30 so I can catch my flight back down here. And then I'll get back in Tampa at 5:30 in the morning. I think I'm just going to park my car at the airport in Tampa. I don't really want to, but I don't want to also ask my daughter to drop me off and pick me up and all that. She's going to come and take care of Scout, I presume. She'll talk to me this week sometime about that. Everything's working itself out, and I don't want to stress about it anymore. I was very annoyed yesterday. We're in here eating cuties. A cutie for my cutie. My gosh, you just swallowed that whole, ma'am. She's in here drooling, ma'am. I ate my entire breakfast besides my little cutie part with her over there in her dog bed. As soon as I started to pull this out, she knew she was going to get a little bite or two. I just got home from getting a coffee, but look at this little girl. Ah, so cute. I went on a little bit of a shopping spree today. I actually just made a little ASMR video. I'm going to see like how it looks when it edits, and if it looks bad, I'll just do a cleaning ASMR and put that up for the day. I needed a couple, well, I only really needed this. This is my heat protectant that I use, and I ran out, and I've been like doing the curly girl method, but also just have like extremely dirty hair and need to have clean hair for Monday at least for work. But also I just feel so much more put together when I have a blowout. But I've also seen so many people talk about this like scalp scrub, and hey, I want to try it. Sue me. I'm curious. And what else? A little massager to massage the scalp scrub in, and like my shampoo and stuff. So got that. Really excited. That's my Ulta. Needed a new toothbrush, got that. Needed a mouthwash, got that. And was running low on my deodorant, so I got lavender rose. They did have a candy cane. I was so tempted, but for some reason I was like, what if that like peppermint burns my armpit hair, or my armpits after like shaving or something, so just went with the lavender rose. Good morning. Did you hear those birds? Wow. Thank you for watching the vlog. We're about to go out for a little morning walk. I got my heatless rollers in. And yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.